welcome to the only Drag Race review. I'm Peppermint, your hostess with the mostest. Before we get started, please make sure you click like and subscribe and click the notification bell to get updates from the Only Productions and more content just like this. So episode 3 naturally starts off with all the girls coming together and meeting first time face to face. Now let me tell you, at the end of the day, after a runway, it's like 12 hours. You're tired, your beard's growing in. It's all I'm in the mood for at the end of that long day is some dinner and some makeup wipes. None of them girls look like dinner. Well, maybe. And none of them look like no makeup wipes. That already would have sent me off. But they get to meet all of their future competitors face to face. So group 1 succeeded in getting group 2 to basically spill all of the tea and sort of expose the weak links. Fast forward, we get RuPaul. They've skipped the mini challenge. This episode felt like it was 3 hours long. So I'm glad there was no mini challenge. Now, on to the main challenge. The girls are split into groups for an improv acting challenge. Basically in the style of an American Idol audition. That's what they were tasked to do. The premise of the task, which it took me, I had to rewind and figure this out like at least 2 or 3 times, because I was straight up confused by this episode. The premise of this episode, apparently, it's the world's worst. It's not the greatest, it's the world's worst. And so the girls have to go in and kind of, you know, botch an audition. Very creative stuff. Okay, so here are the groups. Heidi, Jackie, and Gigi are group 1 called the Del Rio Trio, a sort of elderly group of singers. Heidi, honestly, in this group, stole the show. Okay, so group 2 is Widow, Nikki, and Crystal, and they are called the Squirrel Scouts. Their talent was making nut butter with the help of a possibly rabid stuffed squirrel. I know that squirrels like nuts, and they had peanut butter, and so with the help of the squirrel, they had the nut butter, and that is kind of what woke up the act. Who stole the show in this group? Widow. Her charisma is just totally coming through. Of all the girls in the group, she definitely has a really strong hold on who her character is supposed to be, even though I still don't know what the hell these Girl Scouts were talking about. Group 3 is the Fruity Patooties, and there was a little bit of tension when they were rehearsing. Jada had automatically decided which role she wanted to be, which was the apple, the bad apple, and Rackham was really trying to fight for her role. She was unhappy with the role of the orange, and it totally immediately took me back to season 9. I was the team captain in charge of giving out the roles for our 9021 Ho challenge. And I had to negotiate with Aja, because Aja really had her eyes on one part. It was too late. I was saying, well, let's take this part. But then when I gave it to her, she wanted a different part. It was just like a whole lot. That's how I was feeling. But by the same token, you can be given a kind of menial part and then make something really happen with it. I got Britney Spears, and I didn't want Britney Spears. I to this day don't want Britney Spears. And so they were exposed for not being as fruity as they claimed to be. These challenges. Anyway, so group 4 was 3 Girls, 1 Brain, which was, I guess, a play on 2 Girls, 1 Cup, which to this day, I have never seen that video. Basically, Aiden and Britta are a band of showgirls who were struck by lightning while waiting at a bus stop, I think. And now they share 1 brain to complete their thoughts. I hated this challenge. It just should have been clear and clean cut. I couldn't tell what was going on, and I know you couldn't either. So don't act like you could. Literally, none of them stood out in this group, I have to be honest with you, because they were literally speaking the same words at the same time. It was difficult to hear who who was who and what was going on. And they were speaking so slowly that by the time they finished the sentence, I forgot what they were saying at the beginning of the sentence. Really slow. So, on the runway. First of all, RuPaul looks amazing. Raven, I'm gagging. She looks so damn good. On the runway, my favorites right off the bat, Jada. This is basically just classic drag done really well. It just looks great. And there honestly wasn't a lot of that feeling on the runway for me. So another queen that I loved is Gigi. And this is probably the most confident and most put together outfit that I've seen on the runway tonight. It's just beautiful. These orange buttons. She just looks impeccable. I'm speechless. You snatch my wig every time. These girls are paying big bucks, so tip them. Okay, so that's it for the runway looks. And now is that time of the show that I like to say, what you should have done. I have two pieces of advice. First one's for Aiden on the runway, this sweater. It's beautiful, but I think what you should have done was just wear like a great big bow on your head. You know, you could have worn the same sweater with the little bows and everything on it, but just a huge oversized bow on your head. So the two queens in the bottom are Nikki and Dahlia. This lip sync performance, it's not my favorite. It's not the most dramatic. One of the things that I think is interesting is, I just noticed this for the first time, Dahlia's eye line, like where she's looking, is a little off. It's like she's almost performing directly into the camera. I've never actually seen Dahlia perform in a bar or a club in person. But I just didn't see sort of that grit from Dahlia the way that I was kind of expecting to. Nikki was definitely a lot more charismatic in her performance. And so I think that's why Dahlia ended up getting eliminated. And the winner of the challenge, of course, was... If she didn't win, then I would have said Heidi, because Heidi was the most charismatic overall in the entire episode. I just fell in love with Heidi. That's good for you, honey. And expensive. So Dahlia, I think you did a great job. We loved you. And you're fantastic. So don't be upset. So far, based in the competition, who are the queens that you think should be the possible winner? I know who I think should be the winner, and that is either Jada or Gigi. These two queens just have it the most together. They are 100% on point every single time. What do you think? Leave a comment and let me know who you think is really outperforming the rest of the girls to this point. So that is my take on season 12, episode 3. It's a little sweet and a little supportive. I try my best to be super sweet, but if you can't really understand or comprehend that and you speak bitch or you speak shade, then I have a shade translation for you. Please welcome my dear New York City sister, Miss Tina Burner. Tina, take it away.
All right, let's start things off, shall we? Well, you know what? For this episode, just call me Quarantina Burner. That's right, baby. We are here, we are locked down, but we are still reviewing all things Drag Race. At the beginning of the episode, the girls had to put all their competition in tops and bottoms. Who's a wide receiver and who's a tight end. So it's Widow and Jada putting up their tops and the bottoms. And so Jada is being real shady, honey, and she's just like, okay, Gigi Good, I've heard about you. I've heard about you. That's what you're gonna base things on? You've heard about it. Let me put her in the top. But you also put fucking Heidi Ho in the bottom. That's shady, honey. That's shady. I like Heidi Ho. Oh my God, her name's not Heidi Ho. I meant Heidi and Closet. They were calling her Heidi Ho. Oh my God, see? I've already been brainwashed. I think Heidi is the one to watch out for, girls. She's one of the most genuine contestants they've ever had on the show. So I don't believe she should be in the bottom. I probably think she is a bottom. But, and you know, if she's not a bottom, she could be a top. Just with that laugh, though. God, I feel so loopy being in quarantine. I feel like that squirrel from the fucking challenge. The worst. So next up we have the worst challenge, Henny. It is American Idol, Ask America's Got Talent on who is the worst. I'm gonna be honest. Most of them. I don't think most have improv in their life before. Dahlia Sin, Henny, it's okay. You can be as sexy as you want, and you are sexy. You are so beautiful, okay? You are gorgeous, trust me. I ain't look nothing like you, sis. But broccoli isn't sexy, okay? Broccoli makes me fart. I don't even know the 3 girls, 1 brain thing. I just didn't like the sketch. I didn't get it. You know what I mean? It seemed really forced, and I think Aiden was leading the group. So, you know, Aiden, you're the captain of the ship, and the ship goes down with the captain. So, you are responsible. Even though you don't want to be, baby, you are. That's because someone picked you as the bottom. Oh, that's what it was. Didn't Widow pick you as the bottom? I mean, so far, I'm not going to disagree with her. If I see that black wig one more time, girl, I get it. Like, it's a lot, you know what I mean? But it is a short pussycat wig. It literally takes up, like, 0 space in a suitcase. You could have packed a different color. That's all I'm saying. Just all I'm saying. I actually really liked the fruit, the amazing fruit there, Jan's group, except, like I said, for broccoli. I fucking hate broccoli. I actually like broccoli. Maybe that's why I was upset, because you ruined broccoli for me. When they were talking about the Girl Scouts, the Girl Scout group, and they talked about fucking their parents leaving them on the bus stop, leave Roxy Andrews alone! Sis, though, seriously. Nut butter. First of all, also, Crystal, honey, I agree with the judges. Like, can we just see your face? I mean, I get it's part of your thing, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't, for some reason, I think you even put it more. Like, it was like this. Hi, I'm a Girl Scout. Yeah, I don't know what that was. That was a bit of a mess, too. You know, and I get, Nikki, you're the sexy one. And you definitely pulled that off. Yes, we get to talk about the runway, Henny. First of all, questions, comments, and concerns on the runway. Rockham, why would you do a long-haired Alice in Wonderland? Why didn't you just do Rapunzel? Can someone please explain that to me? Gigi, that button look, honey. Of course, I'm a little partial because it was a fire. It was an ombre fire. And you know what? I kind of like it. Tina Burner approved. It was also a really cool fashion. I liked it. It wasn't the most interesting, but except what the fuck was with that hair, the layer hair? I was just confused at that a little bit. Maybe it's fashion. I don't know. I'm just in a nightgown. Oh, yeah. So let's talk about, okay, so some of my bottoms, obviously, I didn't really like Dahlia's. I'm over the sexy kitten look. I really didn't like Widow's. It looked like the elephant from Inside Out, and if that was what you were going for, good for you. If not, I don't, like, what was the white heat? I don't, like, for me, I was just, yeah, it was a miss for me. Oh, I love you, Widow. I just hated that look a lot. First of all, I don't even have to talk about Aiden's. It was a pink sweatshirt with a couple bows on it. But girl, at this point I go, are you even trying anymore? And it's so early on. Like, these are your first impressions. Like, yeah. I think the button, yeah. Eject. You're on a plane. It's time to jump a parachute and go. As far as looks on the runway, I loved the concept of Nikki dolls. I thought it was really, really creative, and she looks stunning. I thought we haven't seen creativity like that in like a minute, like those kind of looks. It's like really high fashion, like Manila type thing, you know, like they're gorgeous, stunning. Yeah, so I guess my bottom 2 would be Aiden and Dahlia for me. Yeah, you're combining it. I think they should have lip synced Against Their Lives. I don't know why Nikki was there instead. I think Aiden should have been there. What are we saving on? Give me something, Aiden. So yeah, those are my tops and bottoms of the week. Remember to swipe up, check things out. Here, tap a bell. I don't know. Ooh. And I'm Quarantina Burner, live here from my apartment, probably for the rest of my life. I think that's it. I think I really answered the questions. Bye.